Emergivac Sharia, South Africa's first and only full Sharia-compliant family medical takaful and wellness product, wishes all listeners Ramadan Kareem. Download the Emergivac app today and get free immediate access to the Emergivac Sharia collection of du'as, hadith, Quran, and much, much more. We're going to our next segment right now. Is called it's called Gaza, hashtag Gaza in numbers, where we're basically giving you all updates on casualties, infrastructure destruction, and migration patterns coming out of Gaza. This a very, very reputable, segment, and we get these numbers from reliable sources, which include the Gaza Ministry of Health, with the latest from Al Jazeera, Euromonitor reports, and Slingshot Media updates. These are very, very reputable, organizations, both media, government, and also, humanitarian organizations that are actively involved in monitoring, what's happening in Gaza, and they're giving us these stats, coming out of Gaza. It's been 174 days since the 7th of October attacks on Palestine, and since the ICJ order on the 26th of January, there have been 6,552 Palestinians who have been killed in 62 days, with a total of 33,006. This number excludes those that are buried under the rubble, which are estimated to be at less than 7,000, and including more than 5,000, which are children. The documented deaths since October 7th of last year. So there's been a 1.4% of the total population of Palestine, of Gaza, which has been killed. So think about that for a moment. 1.5% of the total population of Gaza has been killed and has been murdered by the Israeli occupying forces. In the West Bank specifically, there's been 36,040 Israeli violations and assaults. There have been 1,047 Israeli settler assaults. There have been 6,672 incursions and 2,998 homes stormed. These are families, these are people, these are not just numbers. These are children, these are women, these are fathers, these are grandfathers and grandmothers, these are aunts, these are uncles, and they are probably, living and enduring one of the worst humanitarian disasters, man-made humanitarian disaster, that I think we've seen in recent history. Moving along, there have been 2,980 families which have been bombed, 48 civil defense rescue teams which have been killed. So these would be people that are driving ambulances. This would be search and rescue workers. About 48 of them, of civil defense rescue teams, have been killed. There have been 162 UN staff killed, 26 injured. Hospitals and healthcare, which I think it's a very, very important and touchy subject to look forward to. Imagine a whole country, a whole nation, with a population and with people with all sorts of health related issues, and literally not having any kind of a healthcare system. That's currently what's happening in Gaza right now. The health system in Gaza has completely, I mean, every bit and piece of their healthcare system has collapsed. There's nothing left. There's been 476 medical personnel killed: doctors, nurses, porters, midwives, each and every person that's a medical personnel. 476 of them have been killed. There's been 37 hospitals that are out of service. 186 ambulances have been damaged. 4,800 patients are needing daily treatment, which they're not getting because there are just no resources. The medical systems is understaffed. There's not even hospitals to work in and around. There's been 60,000 pregnant women needing treatment, 10,000 cancer patients whose treatment has been disrupted, 150,000 chronically ill patients whose treatment has also been disrupted. There's been more than 700,000 infectious diseases because of displacement, because where there's displacement, ultimately, you don't find, resources. People are not able to clean themselves correctly. The water that they're drinking is not of, um, you know, good standard. So that's why you'd have, those kind of infectious diseases being on the rise. 200,000 have been displaced as citizens of Gaza. 100,000 are based in UN schools, and this one is a very sore point for me because these are colleagues, these are journalists. I understand why they are there, but for them to be killed, injured, and arrested is something that I hold very personal. So there's been 136 killed journalists, 80 that have been injured, and 12 that have been arrested. When we take a look into our agricultural land, more than 11,120 acres of agricultural land. We know the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza, are like the people of South Africa in a lot of ways. We're people that are in touch with the land. We like to farm, we like to, keep livestock. And imagine 11,120 acres of land has been destroyed, and there's no access to clean water, and also there's a lack of food in the northern governorate of Gaza. Around 500,000 Palestinians are still in Gaza City and the north governorates and under complete suffocating siege. These are the people that are literally in the eye of the storm. Looking into residential units, if there are any left, there's 112,000 which has been destroyed. So about 75% of all of Gaza's residential units have been destroyed. When it comes to homes, houses, 350,900 have been damaged, infrastructure damage, 100 schools have been destroyed, and there's a fear that there'll be a whole generation of children in Gaza that will not and have not stepped a foot in an educational institution. They don't have any kind of learning whatsoever. A whole generation. You can just imagine that the effects of this genocide are not for the here and the now. They're creating a long-lasting, system that will see the people of Gaza being desperate and not being able to find their way in a world that is evolving. I mean, we're talking about 5G and all of these wonderful things that are happening all across the world. But in Gaza, you might have a whole generation that might not even get an education. 432 schools and universities have been damaged. That makes up 90%. Just imagine that. Imagine if that was in South Africa. Just in about 7 months, UJ is gone. Wits is gone. University of Cape Town is gone. Stellenbosch University is gone. University of Pretoria is gone. All of these institutions gone, obliterated. The pride and joy of a country's institutions of higher learning no longer being intact and existing. The research, the just the moral fiber of a nation and just how closely we align it with, you know, the pride of our institutions of higher learning. I mean, if you're South African, you're going to read an article about how a VETS or how a UJ has had, groundbreaking research on a certain topic. Imagine not having that anymore. Imagine those things that we hold so dear and that national treasures in a way not existing anymore. These are the realities that the people of Gaza have to live with, above and beyond, the genocide that they're currently enduring. We're going to take a quick break. There's more of these stats. If you want to, take a look at them, if you want to read a bit more about them, you can go to the Gaza Ministry of Health, and you can get a bit more information on the stats. But it's just a lot to take in. But we do have to read them. We do have to understand them, and the impact that they have on the people of Gaza. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be throwing our eyes back home. We'll be speaking to Mabuto Mthembu, young person, a philanthropist, also very, very involved in youth activism. Um, he's going to be joined by Zaid Jadwat, one of our own here, very very passionate media practitioner, and a very very vocal social commentator, Zaid Jadwat, and we'll be chatting about why young people need to engage in the democratic processes of South Africa, with the spotlight obviously being on the upcoming 2024 national general elections. More on this after the break.